Hey everybody, this is another exciting edition. I did some full-on degen stuff, which you guys have always been asking, is there an altcoin gem out there? And as you guys know, I tend to focus on the top 300. This one is number 4,790 or something, to say, call it just made in the top 5,000. The question is it worth investing in, and how do you get it? And a whole bunch of other stuff. We're going to talk about IDOs and gems all in the same breath. So here we go. I hope you like this content. If you do, please subscribe. So here we are. So first of all, I'm going to jump in and explain exactly what this is all about. And here we make data-driven decisions. And I've been looking for a gem for quite some time. And I think maybe we may have found one. I'm not going to tell more, but it is part of the Solana ecosystem. It is very similar to another one that I hold called Aave, with elements of Uniswap in there too. And it is an exciting play. So without further ado, let's talk about Solend, the Solend IDO, and the Solana ecosystem and how it all integrates together, which will give you an idea as to why the only crypto moving right now is Solana and related Solana ecosystem plays. And of course, this is a disclaimer. This is not financial advice. This is pure edutainment. So welcome in. Math, money, and freedom. You know the drill. So first of all, let's get started and talk about what is an initial DEX offering. It's like an IPO. You all know what an IPO is. So this is a new and exciting type of decentralized and permissionless crowdfunding for a new project. And this is really beginning to boom right now. You've had ICOs in the past, but now IDOs are the new big thing. And if a project is launching an IDO, it means the project is launching a coin or token via a decentralized liquidity exchange. Very important to remember those little points here. And this is the type of crypto asset exchange that depends on liquidity pools, where traders can swap tokens, deposit tokens, borrow tokens, etc., through a whole bunch of different means, including swapping stablecoins. Now, I shared here as well a calendar of upcoming DEXs, if in case any of them are of interest. So that's how I found this one. But I had actually been using Solend even before I knew there was an IDO. So after using it, playing with it, and then finding out there's an IDO, I had to get a piece. Let's talk about how I did that. So first of all, before you jump into anything, I always say follow the smart money. And here you can see some very smart people behind this project. You've got two names I just want to call out and not talk much about the rest, but you got Balaji Srinivasan. He is probably the best angel investor in the crypto space today on planet Earth. Second of all, you have Stani Kulechov. He is the founder and head of Aave, which is a competitor. So I'm thinking, wow, if he's investing in a competitor, it's got to be good. So all the stuff here was gelling from the investor side. Second thing you do, you look at the explosive growth. This is from DeFi Llama, and you can see the Solana ecosystem. A few days ago it was 14 billion. Now it's nearly 15 billion. And the fastest growing is Solend, up by, I can't remember, 400% in a week, something crazy like that. It is just going bangbusters. It nearly has a $1 billion deposited on it. So that's enough of that. And let's talk about tokenomics. You always have to look at tokenomics. And this one is pretty much like you'd expect. If you took the average of all the best projects and looked at their tokenomics charts, this is kind of what it would look like. But there's a couple of interesting twists. First of all, lockup seed investors have a 3-year vesting schedule. And the first vesting schedule is October 1st, 2022. So we have time before they dump all their stuff. That's good. And the rest vesting monthly thereafter. And the team also has a 3-year vesting schedule, with the third vesting June 1st, 2022 as well. Now, there is no lockup for IDO participants like me. And the other thing to look at as well is the relative market caps. You guys know from now that I am fascinated by this. But Aave is 6 times larger than Solend today on a fully diluted market cap basis. Remember, very few have actually been issued. So it's a long way to go before we get fully diluted. And it's also very interesting, we'll talk more about this, is how this is all tied together in the whole Solana ecosystem. And one of the main reasons I'm so bullish about the Solana ecosystem is what I'm going to show you soon. So let's talk about the Money market. So think of Solend as a big money market. And this is not financial advice, of course. And be careful playing around with these types of things. Make sure you understand them before you dabble, or play with just 0.01 of a sol or something. But here, you'll see the APYs are a lot lower on Aave than they are here. So you get much better returns for your money. It's also better, cheaper, and faster than Aave, and I've used both. Now, an example of how this could work is you could deposit Solana and get 3.93% APY, which is less than staking, which I get about 7.3, 7.4% right now. Then you can use that Solana as collateral to borrow, for example, FTT at 1.71% if you feel bullish in FTT. This is the interesting thing. You can stick your stuff here and you could buy Bitcoin with it, borrow against it, buy Bitcoin with it, or FTT, and you can play a little arbitrage game. And you've heard me talk about things like trading pairs, and this is a good way to practice and get a feel for how these things work, as well as get yield at the same time. So let's talk about some of the return that's paid. Kind of blew this up a little bit so you could see. And you can see some of the returns are pretty good. You have your supply, which is what you get for when you deposit, and your borrowing rate for all these different assets. What's interesting to note is the difference between USDC and USDT. Obviously, the higher the APY, sometimes the higher the risk, but that goes without saying. You guys get that by now, but that's just an example of some of the assets they have available, and more are probably coming, and that'll be kind of related to the ecosystem. Now let's look at how this actually works and how it all kind of fits together. So first of all, you can, as I mentioned, deposit your Solana. In this case, you'll see an amount deposited, and then you can borrow something like 0.1 of a Bitcoin against that at certain types of rates. And again, practice, learn about the discrepancy between the borrowing and lending rates, and play. So for example, imagine a situation where Solana had a blow off top, but Bitcoin hadn't moved. Imagine Bitcoin at 50K, Solana goes to 600-700K. Deposit your Solana, borrow against it, buy Bitcoin with it. Simple arb play. Anyway, not financial advice, but just some of the things that I'm playing with right now. Now, let's look at one thing that really blew me away. And if you know anything about enterprise software, one of the biggest challenges is integration, having a suite of offerings that are fully integrated. Now, the more I dig into the Solana rabbit hole, the more I discover. So if you look at this here, this is a tool called the Sonar Dashboard. It looks at what's in your wallet. It looks at what you have staked. It looks at what you have on exchanges. It looks at what you're doing for yield farming, lending, borrowing, like it would tie in your Solend data, etc., your staking balance. A lot of concern that people have is if they stake something, if they're staking in many places like I am, you may forget where you put something. But here with the Solana ecosystem, it's a one-stop shop and you have full visibility to everything you have going on with all of your assets in one place, which is really, really powerful. And again, one of the concerns for me was, imagine you have a situation where something happens to me, my loved ones would never be able to decipher where everything is. But having a platform like this makes it real easy. Save it as a link on a computer, give them the seed phrase to your Phantom wallet, and you're good to go. But let's talk more about how do you snag an IDO, because it's not exactly straightforward. So these are some of the steps I recommend. First of all, read the white paper, study and analyze the project. Do all the quant stuff that I do. Look at the tokenomics, look at the growth rates, look at who's backing it. Basic stuff. It doesn't take a lot of time to get really convinced that this is a good project. Now, the other thing, you need a couple of ingredients to do this, like baking a cake. You need a VPN. You need an exchange, for example, FTX. You need some Solana or some USDC available to invest. You need Radium or access or know how to find it. You need a Phantom wallet. And SonarScan is good to monitor exactly what's going on. So sometimes it can be a bit nerve-wracking when you move stuff to a wallet and then you deposit it somewhere. It didn't really go through. But with this, you can actually find out and track it the whole way. So not financial advice. This is also not legal advice. But if you find yourself, say, in North Korea on vacation and you urgently need to get on an IDO, but you're away from home, well, you fire up your VPN. I use BrowSec. And many of these countries here that are listed were not allowed access to the IDO, but I helped a friend of mine get access by doing a Zoom call, configuring the VPN to the Netherlands, and then everything was completely fine. So again, there's ways of solving these simple problems. What you do next is you go to the IDO website. Here, When you go to the IDO website, and everyone has a website, you connect your wallet, which is your Phantom wallet. And again, you need, obviously, make sure you do it on time. Make sure you don't miss the window. You got to look at this. You got to put it in your calendar and follow the steps very specifically. And once you deposit, you'll see what happens next. But you don't know what you're going to get, which is part of the risk and part of the excitement of the whole thing. So then you transfer from an exchange. You go to, say, FTX, buy some Solana, some other asset, and then transfer to your Phantom wallet. And it's a piece of cake because it's all integrated. FTX is fully integrated with Phantom. You press a button, it's instantaneous. There's no 10-minute wait or a couple of minutes delay. It happens instantaneously, which is sometimes terrifying when it happens so fast. Then from FTX, you can also deposit directly to Radium, where you need to swap for USDC, and you can swap anything there. There's a small little fee involved, but it's again very quick and very small and very easy to do. From there, you load your Phantom wallet with your USDC. In this case, I think I put $3,000 in just to practice and play. And there with your Phantom wallet, you see all your other assets that you have, including all of your staking assets, just like the Sonar scan. You can have a full visibility from your wallet as well. And I must say, I use MetaMask, but I find the Phantom wallet so much better. Then the IDO, this is where you first deposit your money. You see, after fees, my $3,000 became $2,985 USDC after Radium and all the different steps, etc. Now, that's a lot less than the gas fees, by the way, on other platforms that will remain nameless. But here, watch these times carefully. I can't stress this enough. This can be nerve-wracking because I was a little bit worried that the IDO will be priced at half the market cap, fully diluted market cap of Aave. And if you look here, the implied token price at the time where I deposited was about $23. And then the amount that I'd get would be about 130 tokens. So I thought, that's a bit expensive, but you know what? I'm committed. I'm just going to go in and see what happens. The next day or 10 hours later, remember to go back and redeem. This is the final step. This is where you see what you got. I was pleased that my allocation was 3x from 10 hours earlier, which is a surprise. And when the auction is over, you can press that big white button there. You can review what you got. And you don't have to redeem it if you don't want to. But of course I did. And I got 454 SLND tokens for about $3,000. Which is about a price of approximately $6. So you see the final token price is very different from the one that was 10 hours earlier, and the actual allocation is given there. Now, the cool thing to mention about this one as well is all proceeds from the IDO are going to the Solend Treasury, which is owned and governed by the Solend DAO via SLND tokens, of which I have some now. Now, the treasury funds will be used for insurance and grants and user acquisition and anything the DAO decides that they need to invest it in. So it's like you're giving back your USDC to the system itself, not lining the pockets of some rich person. So that is extremely important to look at too, and one of the things I believe in. So let's look at where we are today. Again, it's only trading for like 24 hours. It's been a bit volatile. I think it's trading now about $9.60. So it's up 50% since I bought it, which is okay. It hit nearly $12 yesterday, so it was nearly a 2x from the IDO. But I'm not in it for a short-term gain. I'm in it because I believe this is potentially an Aave killer. I still own Aave, but I want to hedge my bets because of the growth rates here, the ease of use, and the power of the whole ecosystem. So in summary, the Solend IDO Summary, it is risky to play with IDOs just like it is to play with IPOs. I'm very selective in the projects that I invest in, so you have to believe in the project. And I believe this is a superior offering, not a super offering, to Aave down the line. And remember, you don't know what you're going to get till you actually get it. So you have to get in early as well to make asymmetric gains. The earlier you get in, the better. And that's why certain IDOs are good. Most of them, not good. This one, I believe, has potential. So it'll be interesting to see how this thing blossoms over time. Again, market cap is under $1 billion. There's a long way to go, I believe, especially when you look at the rapid adoption. I mean, the market cap and TVL are equivalent right now. The fully diluted market cap and the TVL are equivalent. There's not many places you can say that on day one of trading. So hope you like the content. If you want more of this type of stuff, let me know. It is sometimes not trivial to play all these games, all the ingredients you need in the cake, but hopefully I mapped out the step-by-step process. And remember, there's many ways to do this, not just one way, but this is the way that I did it. And thank you all. Hope you're doing well. And by the way, ironically, Solana just minted an all-time high. This is uncanny as I'm doing this right now. This is so bizarre. So bizarre. Solana just hit $248.99, all-time high, as I'm doing a Solana ecosystem video. Love you all. Be safe, have fun, and let me know what you want to see next.